What is up, everybody? Today is our first trip of 2021, and unfortunately it is January, which means certain species are gone, they migrated, or certain species we can't target anymore. So we got to be very creative this winter and kind of think outside the box. But before we start today's video, I did want to throw a big shout out to Mike. Mike, a friend of mine and subscriber of the channel, follows us, saw the issue we had with our previous GoPro and was super generous and donated his GoPro to us to use in 2021. So thank you, Mike, man, much appreciated. He saved the day. We are planning on doing a lot more trips, a lot more species assessments in the year. Another thing that we're going to be trying to work on is our editing. I know if you watch the videos that I make, you know that I'm probably the worst video editor in the planet, but I'm not going to let that stop me from making videos. I am going to work on doing more creative cuts and more cleaner editing in general. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better this year. Some other things that I'm looking to do this year is keep track of the species that we catch. If you follow the channel, you know that we are a multi-species angling channel. We don't look down on anything really, to be honest with you. If it swims, we want to target it. That being said, we are going to keep track of the number of species that we do catch and which ones we catch throughout 2021, because I think it'd be pretty cool to look back and see what we got and what we didn't get. Other thing that we're going to add to 2021 that we just started doing recently is more social media posts. Now, if you follow me, you know that we have an Instagram page. It's 609.fishing. If you're not following it, please go throw it a follow. I promise you won't regret it. We post most of our stuff actually on Instagram, but we're going to move into some other social media sites. In fact, we just created a TikTok a couple weeks back. Only have about maybe 8 or 9 videos, but the second one I did ended up getting almost 100,000 views in 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. So if you have TikTok, go to 609 fishing, all one word, and throw me a follow. Let me know what you think. But what is up, everybody? Today it is not warm, man. It is like 16 degrees out. Just got super cold overnight. It was like 60 the other day, so fortunately the lake we're fishing hasn't froze yet, but there's definitely remnants of it that are getting frozen. Right now I made the bonehead move of leaving my depth finder at home, so we're kind of doing this trip completely blind, but I'm hoping that I could kind of use landmarks that we've used in previous trips here, and hopefully that'll put us on fish. But right now I gotta get the anchor set. I'm just trying to get my bearing, and then we'll get fishing. Now, being that it is colder out, we are going to be doing a little bit of a different technique of fishing. We're going to be using ice fishing techniques that I've learned over the years. We got 2 rods set up. We're going to start with the Slab Stacker first, and then with a little bit of wax worms, and then we'll see what happens after that. But let me get it baited up. Legit, the worst thing about fishing in weather like this is I can't feel my hands. And I know some of you at home are saying, man, you should probably wear gloves, but honestly, it doesn't feel the same in my opinion. But your hands are numb when you legit can't grip the worms. You just gotta put them in your palm of your hand and hopefully you stick them that way. All right, we just baited up. We're gonna drop her down. Like I said earlier, we did not remember our, probably should tighten the drag. We did not remember our depth finder, so we're hoping that we could find fish the old-fashioned way, but we'll see how that goes. Just gonna jig a little. First fish of the day, babe. Let's go. Oh man, look at this. Look at that. First fish of the day is a sunfish. Man, that is one cool looking bluegill. All right, man, there will be no skunk today. Braving the sub-zero weather for bluegill. All right, man, I was starting to worry. We legit have been moving all around the lake. Like I said, did not remember the depth finder today, which makes life super, super hard to kind of pinpoint where these fish are. Usually I honestly don't use it to actually mark fish. I use it more to mark depths. I'm more of a depth guy. Oh, getting good hits though. If you know the depth and you know the water temperature, you know, you can figure out pretty much anywhere where these fish are hanging. I know that the water is not very warm. Fish on. Let's go. Let's freaking go, baby. This feels a little bit better. A little bit of a bigger gill. But if you know the temperature of the water and you know the depth, you really could kind of pinpoint where they're gonna be. Like right now we're in a deep hole. I know it's a deep hole from just fishing this spot before. I want to say it's about 18 feet, but when the water gets cold like this, man, these fish tend to move into those deeper holes. But we're gonna let this cool little bluegill go. Honestly, it could be pretty tedious when you're out here in the winter and, you know, hands are cold. You know, you can't feel your hands, can't feel your face. And if there's not a great bite, man, you can get pretty worn down pretty quick. I mean, no joke, my tip of my rod keeps freezing. I have to keep clearing it because it's so freaking cold today. Fortunately though, today it is like the first really cold day we've had in a while. I mean, it's been pretty cold recently, but today is just kind of the worst day we've had yet. I mean, it feels like 16 with the wind chill, which oh had a hit, but got him that time. Fortunately, like I was saying, it's been pretty warm for the most part, which means, ooh, got that on the drop shot bait. But the lake we're fishing has not froze yet, which is nice because wasn't trying to break the auger out yet. Oh, son, that one crushed it. Another gill. I'll tell you what, no shortage of these gills today, boy. That was an aggressive hit from a gill. So I just dropped it back down. It's been kind of a temperamental hit. It's kind of weird. Like there was a hit right there, but I'm waiting for a bigger one to come by. Got him. There we go. It's kind of like a weird, oh, there's the second species of the day. We got ourselves a white crappie. See now, every once in a while when you get those weird hits, I know that it was a bluegill. Man, I can't feel my hands, so I can barely lift this guy. There we go. Beautiful white crappie. I mean, you got to be patient if you're getting those little tap, tap, taps. Wait for, you know, the bigger fish to come up and grab it. I mean, this isn't a slab by any means, but it's beautiful white crappie, man. All right, man. We're going to let this white crappie go. Just going to get a quick video of him getting away. Off he goes. All right, man. That was what we came here for, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to catch anything, but when you catch white crappie, the day is, you know, made. Beauty about these species is they are a year-round species. I mean, you always hear about crappie in the springtime because typically, you know, when they're spawning, more people are targeting them because they're in higher numbers, in bigger groups. But what most people don't realize is these fish are here year-round. Lakes, rivers, you know, any type of freshwater source that, you know that they're held at. Now, we are fishing on a lake right now, but it's a similar pattern that they make in the spring. So in the springtime, they make a run to spawn. Now, depending on where you're fishing, for instance, if I'm going to use a river as an example, I know when they're in the river, they move to, you know, shallower spots that have more sediment where they can lay eggs. Oh, there was a good hit, but I just missed it. They're more congregated and they're in bigger groups. Same could be said in lakes, you know, when they're spawning. I know they do spawn in certain areas of a lake, and you know, if you time it just right after the spawn, you know, they're usually feeding pretty well, just because, you know, they burn a ton of energy, you know, doing the whole spawn thing. This time of year, you gotta be patient more than any other time of the year. I mean, like I said earlier, the bite has been kind of temperamental. I mean, we've had some fish today, but it's not like it is, you know, in the spring and the summer when these fish are just fish on. Oh, son, when they're just feeding like crazy. This time of year, you really, oh man, look at this, another crappie. You really do have to be patient, because you gotta understand, man, the water is pretty cold, and these fish, you know, are moving in slow motion, you know. If you ever watch any of the underwater, you know, winter fishing videos, and you see those fish, they're not, you know, as aggressive as they are when the water's warm. Off another, just to showcase this guy real quick. Oh man, when there's a gust of wind like that, man, whoo, we're gonna get him back in the water, just because he's got to be cold as can be. I mean, I just dropped her back down. It's funny, kind of kicking myself. I was gonna pack 2 anchors to double anchor. That way we could kind of stay on top of the spot, but much like the depth finder, we forgot a lot of things today. So just having 1 anchor, honestly, is a game changer, because, you know, you don't want to have to keep paddling back and forth, especially a windy day like this, where if we didn't have an anchor, we literally would be blowing all over the lake. In fact, we're gonna just check the bait real quick. No, we're good. But you know, the anchor's allowing me to stay kind of in a relative area, kind of on a swing with the way the wind has been today, but does make a huge difference. Now, if we were really searching for them and they were more spread out throughout the lake, we probably wouldn't anchor. We would just kind of drift and just jig along the bottom and just see what we could jig up. But right now it seems like a pretty effective method of just dropping right on top of them and slowly jigging it. But what's weird is, there we go, that is like the most oh son, look at that. It's like the most subtle hit right there. Woo! Another slab. These are some beautiful, beautiful crappie. I mean, just look at that guy. All right, we're gonna let this beautiful fish go. Off he goes, swims away, swim to fight another day. Like I said, man, you just gotta keep breaking the ice off the tip of the rod, but it's a weird hit when it's like this. When, like I said earlier in the video, the weather has been pretty mild recently, and then it slowly dropped down, but it was about 61 the other day. And I've always found that when you have this like crazy temperature drop from, you know, real warm to real low, I do find that the bite does sometimes slow down. I think it's kind of a shock to the fish when they go from that warmer water to, you know, a little bit colder. But I do notice the hits are a little bit more temperamental in the fact that they're not like, you know, grabbing it and going. It's kind of like they're picking at it. And I do notice if you give it a little bit of a twitch, it does make a little bit of a difference. You could also dead stick, you know, just holding it right on top and hoping that they come by. All right, getting a hit. Oh, got him. Let's go, got him. Finishing the day with a fish. Doesn't feel that bad either. Doesn't feel huge. Finishing the day with big old gill. Can't beat that, man. Honestly, can't beat that with a stick. Alright guys, well that's all the time we have today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you're not a subscriber of the channel, click subscribe down below. Hope Hope you guys had a great holiday. I'll see you guys soon.